going on like that for years. And we got to have somebody in there that's going to say no to that. And I just don't see all this money coming into these other candidates that they're going to be able to say no to them.
Donald Trump has also recently said that he would push for, if he were president, push for a 45% tariff tax on Chinese goods coming into the United States. You think that's a good idea?
For items coming in from China?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because, my opinion all along is if you want to move your business outside the United States, I would raise the taxes so high to make you sell your goods back into the United States that it would be cheaper to bring your business back to the United States, and it'd create more jobs.
So you would set off a trade war then?
Exactly.
You think that's a good idea?
Set
off a trade war. So you think
think about it. Like Nike moved to Korea, Philippines, wherever.
Yeah,
so if you want to sell a pair of Nikes in the United States, it would cost you more money to sell that one pair of shoes.
Hold on. So countries should go back to being isolationist and protectionist, and trade should be severely limited between countries because, hey, if we're going to charge them 45 or 50% to send their goods in the United States, don't you think that they would do the same thing to us?
Of course, but we import more than we export.
Well, do you think that raising tariff rates to 45 or 50% is going to increase a country's exports?
It's not going to create our country's exports more, but it will provide, more companies in the United States, and companies will do better in the United States.
But
if you offer these big companies tax breaks to come back into the United States, that's going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to bring our economy back up.
Yeah, but this is a global economy now. Our companies are so large that they cannot, without exporting, without trading with international partners, there's no way they can keep their size and their employment level. So 300 million Americans wouldn't be able to have find enough gainful employment if there's no exporting. And if you start having 45, 50, 60% tariffs, we've already known from past that tariffs do a huge amount of damage to exporting for the countries that are involved. So if we cut our, let's say, 45%, cuts our exports, what are the people that work in the exporting business going to do?
Well, it's going to limit them, but, I saw something earlier about the, our country's all gone to electronics and stuff like that. Well, look how many jobs that has put America out of. We're being replaced by computers and electronic equipment. And who's making all that electronic equipment? China.
That's what they said about the print when they invented the printing press too. Well, look at all those people that are going to be, all those scribes are going to be put out of work.
Well, in my town, and I'm in Tallahassee, Florida, and we used to have 10 video stores, like Hollywood Videos, Graves Videos, Blockbusters. We have none. We have none no more.
Things are always changing. All those people that once worked in for instance, vinyl records used to be very huge. Well, there's hardly vinyl record manufacturing facilities left on the entire planet. There's very few of them because they went to CDs and then went to digital tapes. And people find jobs in other areas as technology changes. That's the way it's always been. We can't keep things the way they were back in 1910. It just won't work that way.
It'd be a lot simpler.
That it would be, no doubt. No cell phone. Well, you wouldn't have a cell phone. 1910, I wouldn't be on the air. So,
right. I just think we need a leader that is going to be tough. And I know the media all says, well, Trump can't do this. He's got no experience with foreign relations, and what did Obama have?
I'm going to give Donald his credit as far as foreign relations and negotiating. He's an international businessman, and when you're
Right.
dealing with a lot of these foreign, when you're doing a lot like he has to deal with Scotland right now, with them trying to do certain things to one of his golf clubs in Scotland, and he's just, well, they're saying, we're just going to ban Donald Trump from entering the United Kingdom, and Trump just pretty much responded, look, I built all these wonderful golf clubs. Some of you like them, some of you don't. Who cares? But if you prevent me from going, I'm just going to shut everything down, and all those people are going to lose jobs. I can see where you can say that he might be a strong international type of person, because Donald Trump is all about the win-win, and as long as he wins, the rest doesn't matter. And I'm with you. I firmly believe that Donald Trump would be in the corner of the United States, and his attitude would be, as long as the United States wins, it doesn't matter who else wins.
Well, the biggest thing is, these Democrats have ran this country the last 8 years, and, there's more corruption in Washington than there's ever been. And we need somebody that won't be afraid to go in there and tackle these people. Yes, I think Cruz probably would do it too, but I think Cruz's hands would be more tied than Trump's hands would be. Trump go in there with an attitude. He may just get rid of everybody and put all new people in.
Well, that would be interesting to see, indeed.
Well, that's probably what needs to happen, because, you take Hillary's emails and, we don't want to see the emails that they just want us to see. We want to see all the emails,
Yeah.
Let the people determine what is corruption and what is not, or, what is top secret and stuff like that, But I just think there's too much cover up going on in Washington, and we got to have somebody in there. And I think Trump would be the one that would, put the foot down and, like he says, make America great again. But we've got to do something about closing this border off and stop allowing all these illegals in and getting rid of some of the illegals we got. And like Donald says, hey, if they want to come in and become illegal, then they can stay. If not, we don't want them here. We don't need them here.
Now, do you think that, a lot of people are talking about that if we have the wall, then that's obviously going to stop a lot of people from coming in. But however, what about if we just followed and enforced some of the laws that we currently have in the books and let people self-deport? If they can't come here to make an illegal living, do you think we really need to put up a wall?
Well, I don't think the wall is the big issue. I think if we cut back there, don't give illegals welfare, Medicare, free health care, and we cut that part up, that'll make them leave. But they're all coming over because, that's what they're being told. But the wall would do one good thing. It would definitely cut down on the amount of drug trafficking coming across those borders. Because it would be very hard to carry a 200-pound bell over the wall.
Well, the drugs that are coming across the border, we know that they're building tunnels for that kind of stuff. But
right. Well, for the most part, and you still got backpackers coming across. But I know myself, used to stay down in Laredo, Texas, that there's places down there that is very easy to get across the border back and forth. But my other point on that issue is, have you taken a look at who is protecting, who makes up the majority of our border patrol down there?
Who makes up the majority of the border patrol? Mexicans?
Yes. I mean, if you look at them, and I'm in Texas quite a bit because I travel a lot, and actually I'll be going there in 2 weeks. But I'm going to say 90% of the border patrol are made up of Mexicans. Now, we know our government's corrupted. So you tell me that they don't have a hand in bringing illegals across? Yeah, they're going to stop some.
I see a lot of border patrols, getting patrolmen getting shot at. So I haven't been on the border. I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I could not tell you. I hear people like Sean Hannity, who goes down there quite often, talk about the border patrol agents, and he does nothing but praise them. So I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen any reports. I don't know how many foreigners or legal immigrants are actually border patrol agents. I do know that there probably is a significant number, because up here in New England we have a border patrol obviously up here as well. But I've gone by a few checkpoints in Vermont, and it. Some of the border patrol agents, they were of Latin descent and Latin heritage, and they still had a Latin American accent from whatever country that they were from. I understand that point, but evidently and obviously these people have come here for a reason. Look, we've got foreigners that are not citizens that are in the United States military, so it's not that we have foreigners that are working in government jobs like that. They obviously are at least pretend to be loyal to the USA, which is a good thing.
Do you understand that there's a lot of these foreigners that over here for like seasonal work, the work fields, whether it's tobacco fields, vegetable fields, blah, 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 and I've seen it. I've seen it in North Carolina. There'll be 20 of them to stay in one house. They all pitch in a little bit of money. It don't cost them much. They all save their money. They take it back home to Mexico. Okay? They don't pay taxes.
Well, if they're being paid under the table, no, they're not paying taxes. But usually,
right?
Usually that they're able to get a fake ID with a fake Social Security number, so they're paying payroll taxes. Anyway.
Well, but agriculture's got that thing, where they're tax exempt. So they don't pay taxes.
Well, that could be the case too.
But I don't care where you go, what state you go to, you see large farms, you see a lot of Spanish people working. They're getting paid under the table.
Well,
they're taking all that money back to Mexico.
That all comes about because we Americans, we're kind of cheap. We've been Walmartized. We don't. It's true, because if you look at most of the rest of the world, most of the industrialized world. I'm talking Europe and industrialized Asia, places like that. Europeans and Asians and East and Western Europeans, Asians, they spend a greater portion of their weekly paycheck on food. Now, we Americans have gotten into this notion that we should, spend as little on our food as we possibly can get away with, which means if you're going to have cheap food, you got to have cheap labor to grow and pick it. Which is why the United States also has a bunch of food that really isn't food. It's made out of chemicals and flavorings and all that kind of stuff, because it's able to make food that's cheap, because we don't want to spend $200 a week on food. We want to spend $75 a week on food, and if we can't, and hell, we'd like to even spend even less than that if it's possible. It's an amazing thing.
Well, but I'll tell you what, you hadn't been grocery shopping in Florida. There ain't nothing cheap here.
You know what I like? You know what I want to know? I want to know if Donald Trump and Melania actually use coupons.
Is what now?
If they use coupons. Coupons?
Coupons?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, everybody says that's what people do. Is they use coupons.
I don't use them, and it's not because I don't think that they save money, because I know people that use them and do very well with them. But I guess I don't get the Sunday paper.
Well, I'm up against a hard break, though, but I do appreciate your call, and we'll put one in the corner for Donald Trump. Thanks for the call. And folks, we will be